Right, welcome everyone. This is London to New York crossover using the Harmonic Scanner and BYOB, the Be Your Own Bank, very successful daily trading that we do with the 5 to 10 pips. Christine did 10 pips this morning on EuroCAD. I did 5. Hi Les, thanks for coming on. And I had a couple of other successful trades. But GBP USD, I'm going to discuss that a bit. It has made a move up, but the moves have been even bigger than the stop losses I would normally take. So I'm going to start sharing the screen here, and let's go through. I've put on the Heikinashi candles, and I think we'll start. Let me just check Forex Factory, and thanks very much. Notice the hint of sarcasm in my voice because I realised when I went on Sharon's session that starts at 2 after mine that actually I've been looking at the news for Monday the 2nd of December. So I can only put it down to being a bit of a rush yesterday. I had a friend come round, then she drove me back up to collect my car, found my phone. I just got back at 10 to 2, that's 10 to 1 UK time to start the live trading. So I've literally just kind of come in the door. So anyway, that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. So we had this morning, we had GBP news. I noticed on our live this morning that I thought we said the news was at 10, but I had it down at 10:30 my time, Paris time, which would be 9:30 UK time. But anyway, nothing else scheduled on red flag news today, so that's good. So I'm going to start with some USD pairs first of all today. So as you can see, I've set up the BYOB using the Harmonic Scanner, which are my purple pitchfork lines, which are more aggressive trend lines. Now, when you're drawing a trend line to see the direction of the trend, so I'm on the 15-minute here, and I'm going to stick to that for the moment because that's the time scale we use, start with at that and above. Tony Lupino does and Les do quite a lot of 1 hour and above. But for scalping, I tend to be more of intraday scalper, get my money in out. You just have to learn your style of trading really and stick to that. So when you draw a trend line, what's important to remember, not that many of us are using pitchforks off the Harmonic Scanner, but pitchforks, you don't really have a zone. They are more aggressive trend lines. Whereas when you draw a trend line, let me just get you a rectangle here. A trend line is more of, oh, and I can't rotate it. I've forgotten how to do that. So I might have to bring forward. Can't remember how to rotate it. I was going to put one rotated triangle. It would help if I went on the right thing. Remove. Go down here, get rid of that. Rectangle. Right. You will find that actually a trend line, oh my God, that's it, is more of a zone. See if I could just move that down. And that's, sorry, the system's a little bit slow. Not really getting it exactly where I want. Start again. Try and put it on more accurately. Rotated triangle, that rectangle. Let's just do it like that. That's slightly wide. Not very good at drawing these, obviously. Oh, I didn't know it did that. And that's messed it up completely. I'm going to have to practice this on my own. But what I wanted to say was that I'm going to remove that and move on to looking at setups. You've got an area either side of that line. It's not as exact as that on a trend line. So you have got a little bit of leeway. So if we look at what BYOB is doing, and here you can see a line of support and resistance, which we talk about every day on our daily trading with Paul in the morning. You have a a line here, the orange line, which is quite a hard line for price to break through, and also it's hitting a pitchfork. This is on the 15-minute. We've got the SARs in the upward trend, so they haven't flipped yet if we're looking at this for a buy. And the stochastic, the lines are apart there. It's just at the top at the 80, but ideally like these, you know, it's great if they hit. You can see here where they hit above, you've got a bigger drop like we had yesterday on this. So we're waiting for the SAR flip. If we're going to look at this as a sell, let me put the pivots on. So the pivots tell us that we've got a sort of consolidation going along. You've got a ceiling there, although it's wicked through here, but it's hitting quarter theory and not quite liking that. So that's another indication that it could continue down, because we've got a lower low formed here. So the market could be now turning back down on the 15-minute. So I'm just going to put on one of my indicators that I use for exiting, just to see what the direction of the trend is. Because when we were in EuroCAD this morning, even putting it on the 60-minute, it was all green for the upward move, and indeed it was after the call that it turned and swung down again a bit, although I haven't checked it since I got out of it. So on the 15-minute, it's still saying this background band is 15 minutes, that it's still going up, but the 1 minute did dip slightly, but we don't take any notice of small dips or rises either way. So here, a bigger dip down. So if it happens again, like it did here, then, you know, it's an indication using this indicator, the multi-time frame analysis hull, to get out of the trade. There's about a 30% lag. And as you can see, it's an indication to get out the trade over that 15 minutes. It's come down before it's then turned up again. So if you are scalping using the smaller time frames, and it does work obviously over different time frames. If I just show you, let's have a look. That is the 60-minute, I beg your pardon. We go back to the 15-minute. See, you might notice the bands change their shape. Just give it a moment to load. Yeah. So this is back at the 15-minute, and it's saying over 15 minutes it dipped down, and it's now in the upward trend on the 1 minute, that little green line, and on the band at the back with the stars still going up. So still a little way for it to move, although it's turned down here. And I know it's good to look at the longer term time frame. So we'll just go to the hourly. You can still see on the longer time frame, stochastic is saying it's still going up. And here in the back, sorry, just level, I don't know why it says that, might be because I've got quite a few windows open. We can see that we haven't got a SAR flip. We've still got it going up on the hourly using BYOB. So on the 15-minute, it's sort of saying it's dipped at the top, but it's not quite high enough. But in the longer term, 1 hourly, it's saying it's still going up. And we would want it to come above that 80 level. Let's have a look, USD CAD on the 4 hourly. And on the 4 hourly, you can see my 62 EMA, which is the 1 minute line, the average of price. I use the EMA, exponential moving average, which means it's weighted towards most recent price. So it's the average of 62 days price. And price will normally always come back to that line. But you can see here it's in a downward trend on the 4 hourly. It has not crossed over the 15-minute line, the thinner, paler orange line. So I'd be expecting, if this carried on as it is, and you can see the hull, sorry, not the hull, the, let me just turn that off for a moment. Yeah, was turning down as well, but I use that for an exit strategy, not to get in, so we don't want to overcomplicate things. So it's coming down through the pitchfork and the quarter theory on the 4 hourly. But we've got a dip here, which means it's saying that it's going to, it's swung as much as it's going to, and is it going to come up again? So it's not in a strong downward trend, according to this stochastic. It started further back here. Oh, where's the SARS? I've got the SARS on, so the SARS are right up there. If I put that screen down a bit, so got the SARS down there and they've come up here. So on the 4 hourly, the SARS are saying that there's room for it to come up still, and the stochastic would seem to be indicating that. So back to the 1 hourly, which might look like our best time frame, still says there's some move coming up on the SARS, some move coming up on the stochastic. The lines are quite wide apart. They've narrowed a bit there, but they're not over 80. So we're looking for it to peak before it turns, and I would think that would happen if it is going to carry on in a downward trend. As I say, we did have on the lower time frame, I'll go back to the 15-minute, we did have a lower low forming, which shows that perhaps the market is reversing. So I think we're between the 15-minute and the 1 hourly on this, with a strong line of support and resistance at 1.32500, which is my favourite, one of my favourites, the quarter theory point, and I do pay very strong attention to that, no matter what strategy I am looking at. So we'll just finish off USD CAD by going back to the 15-minute. Please feel free, the SARS just flipped there, just please feel free to join in if you've got any questions on TradingView, technical analysis, indicators, you know, anything, or actually what we're doing here on price, because sometimes I get it right, sometimes I don't. I misjudge timeframes, like GBP USD did make a move, but it made a move later and it had higher stop losses than I'm used to, even putting bigger ones on. So I got caught out on that yesterday, and it did make a move today. So we've got a SAR flip up here on the 15-minute. And we've had stochastic just over 80. The lines are slightly wider apart there with the sellers in control. So that is coming down. But for me, I'm a bit nervous about it because my 62 EMA is still showing a rise on the 1 minute. And if you look at the pivots, which is the lazy man's way of putting highs and lows on, if you are doing technical analysis and looking at support and resistance, you'll see back here at midnight, we had 1.32448 on the 15-minute, and a price at 10:15 of 1.32452. So following the pitchfork to the pip there, if I've drawn my pitchforks accurately, which I think I have. So you know, we've got an equal top. We've got neither a high nor a low, so I can't tell if price wants to go up or down looking at that. But if I look at the lows, we have got on the 15-minute, we didn't have it on the longer time frame, a new lower low formed. So that says to me that it wants to come down, and it is coming down. But at the moment, I don't know if Tony's got, please feel free to chime in, Tony, because you're so good on BYOB. Yeah, I know.
I wouldn't say I was that good.
Oh, I think so.
We're all learning. We're all students, as they say.
You're very modest, but it doesn't look to me like there's a trade there, is what I'm saying.
Right. US, UK, UC.
Yeah.
I'm actually on UJ at the moment. What I've decided to do on the 5-minute, because we had a successful 5-minute this morning.
Yeah.
And I'm now going on a demo account, and I'm going to try 50 trades on the trot using BYOB and see how successful it is.
On what time frame?
This is on the 5-minute.
Yeah, okay. Well, here's the 5-minute, which I don't usually go to. So the SARS flipped at that quarter theory point. We've got 3 SAR flips there. We've got flat bottom candle.
US, Canada. Let me find it. Let me find it first, and then I'll be able to give my analysis. So you haven't entered it yet, I assume?
I haven't entered anything yet, no.
Okay, so it's going down here. You've got the SAR above, you've got a flat bottom. Yeah, the blue has just gone past the 20 on the stochastics with mine. It's 5-minute, yeah.
Yeah, 5-minute.
Yeah, so it's just gone past. So I feel it might go down low. It's almost as low as the other two to your left. Okay, you've got 14.33, 14.33 is the same. To me, you might get 5 pips out of it, something like that, at a push, but it's gone past the white, the white line at the bottom.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't get in that. I mean, it may go down even further, but
it's just popping down now, but I don't like it because my 62 EMA is pointing upwards on the 5-minute.
also I'm looking at, I know I use this as an additional indicator and I don't expect anybody else to use it, but the cloud, the red line is literally, or the green line is on top of the red line. So yeah, when there's a gap between them or it crosses through, that's a good indication, but they're stuck together. So yeah, I'd want to watch it a little bit longer, but by the time that happens, it could have started a reversal. If it was
Yes.
halfway down between 80 and 20, then yes, it
Yeah,
would be a
here. Yeah.
possibility.
Yes. Because
But
I've also got it hitting a pitchfork there, only about 3 pips away.
yeah,
So,
so
and I don't like the way I've got my 62 EMA pointing up, which is the average of 62 days price.
yeah, the
So,
candles look good. I mean,
candles
yeah,
look good.
but the stochastics look like it's gonna, something
I
can
just,
happen.
I just wonder if it's going to trade within this band, which is at whether there's a channel trade going on here at the moment, because I've got it coming up to that quarter theory. It was on the
Yeah.
pitchfork to the pip back there, and
Mm.
it's hit the pitchfork perfectly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Another
6,
one.
6 times. So I would expect it to hit the pitchfork here. So
Yeah.
I just wonder if I
What
draw a
I
rectangle.
sometimes do as well is if I'm not, let's say I'm 70% sure, which isn't really enough for me, I normally go to the 1 minute and see how busy it is down there.
Oh, I love them. I love the 1 minute. You know me.
And it
I
lets
like
you
busy.
know watch, because it's hit the bottom, it's now reversing. You've got a buy candle forming. So, and the gap between the green and the blue lines on the cloud is getting wider. So that's a strong indication to me that there is possibly reversal happening.
Yeah, so I've got potential channel trading going on here with a gap of 14 pips between quarter theory and where price has consistently
Yeah.
since 10 o'clock UK time bounced off my pitchfork, but
Yeah.
not gone any higher than the quarter theory point. So if
Yeah.
I just finish this pair by going where you are, yes, I see what you mean. On the 1 minute, we've got it flattened out on the stochastic, and if I get there, and it's just turning up above there, so it doesn't like this pitchfork. And I go out to the hourly to see it in conjunction with my scan, then it's generally an upward. Oh, look at that drop there last week. Wow.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, that's non-farm payroll. It must have been used then. So at the moment it's oh, and it's come up a lot. That move, that was the 6th of this. Oh, that was non-farm payroll, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Look what it did there then. It went all the way like that before non-farm payroll.
Yeah.
Amazing,
That's what
that big
happens.
push down. Wow.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, so at the moment I think it's kind of doing its own thing along here. So that's USD CAD, no trade on any time frame unless you want to monitor it between that sort of 10 pip range up to that point at 1.3250. That's what I'd be doing with that. So I'm going to write 0.3250. So I'm going to keep an eye on it from that point of view.
Yep.
I'm going to UJ.
Right.
UJ 15 minute, which is what, did you say you're in a trade at the moment? On this? Tony?
50. Sorry?
Are you in UJ for a trade at the moment?
No.
No.
I'm in nothing at the moment.
No. Okay, we've just had a SAR flip on the 15 minute. Price in the stochastic is halfway up the band with the blue, with a gap between the blue, the buyers and the sellers. We have got a tiny, tiny wick on the, in fact, I'm sorry, I've been busy trying to change I don't like red. I've been busy trying to change the colour of my candles as I go through. Try not to hold everyone up, because what we want is trades.
UJ.
Put the wick there, that's it. I just prefer it green for down and blue for up. So on the 15 minute, that wouldn't be the best trade for the BYOB because it's not hit the come up to the above 80. It's in the middle. but as you said before, Kathy Kirkland sometimes does take trades in the middle, and it's just wicking up there. But I've got I think I've got a downward scan here on UJ. Just go out to the 4 hourly. I do like the way that you go across and look at the bigger time frames to see if it's all consistent. I think that's a very nice rule to have to strengthen confidence on taking a trade, to go from the 15 to the 1 hour to the 4 hour. I like that.
What I find is from the 1 hour upwards, I think it's fairly important because obviously you're going to be in a trade a little bit longer. And I think, as you say, it gives you confidence. It gives you possibly a little bit more reassurance that it's going in that direction. In the smaller time frames, there's not a lot in it. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you do 5, 3, 15, 1 or whatever. It's generally going in that direction anyway. So what I think you can do sometimes is I think if you go into the 1, it's so busy, it puts people off. So, yeah. And it's so quick sometimes. So, yeah, that's why 5 is calmer, but it still goes in the same direction. The wick tells you that anyway. And the 15 is definitely 10 pips plus.
Yes.
So
yes.
It's personal preference. It's playing around with it.
Yes, I always like the 1 minute. I like busy and quick, in and out.
I just use that as an indicator to see what's happening.
Yeah, I trade off it. So the stochastic shows that it's leveled off, probably going to be pointing down. I've got the 62 coming down and the SARS. This is on the 4 hourly. Excuse me. And off the scanner, it's a downward scan, but it's this is a price pinch between my pitchfork and the quarter theory. So that means price, you can see how it's wicking between these two since 7 a.m. this morning on the 4 hourly. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 14 candles since the 6th of December last week, round about 14 candles. It's just stayed between my pitchfork, which is a super aggressive trend line with Fibonacci built in, so very highly accurate, and between quarter theory, that strong line of support and resistance at 108,500. So until it will now just, I think, go up and down between there until it decides what it wants to do. And that's only it's a 14 pip range, narrowing down, and then it's got to burst out one way or the other. So if I go down to the 1 hour only, have we got any trades here till it reaches its decision point on that gap? So the 1 hourly, it's still sort of in the middle, but slightly further down. We've still got the SARS coming up, but this is interesting to me. We've got the 62, that's the 1 minute average of price, has crossed under the 15 minute. And I take successful trades, not solely off that as a confirmation, but that makes me press the button when I see that, although it's flatlined, and it's probably flatlining because of this price pinch between this level here at about, on average, 108,620 and 108,500. So it wants to push down. The scan is down. It probably will continue down, but I don't know what time that's. So I'd be looking at that for a possible sell myself. And I'll just I'm going to go down to the 15 minute, but I'll just put the pivots on. So Ben, with the pivots, we've got lower lows forming, which is a sign that, the market is coming down. And we've also had lower highs. So the market is in a downward trend, and the highs and lows confirm that. Now, this is for our more advanced traders, but we can put a Fibonacci on, which I don't do all the time, but we do it if it's a sell, we do it from the high to the low, and you do it on the most recent movement, because and you must try and get it as accurate as possible. because the previous highs and lows have already, the moves already happened on Fibonacci, and they were at 923 at the top. So I'm looking, and you can see there it's wicked and rejected off the 88.6. So that to me is another indication that it is in a downward trend, and it will boomerang down to something like the 61.8 on the other side. So either the 27 or down to here. So I'll just look at where it is on the 61. So it hasn't, so yeah, it hasn't done anything off the 78.6 or the 61.8. You can see it wicked through and it slipped through that, but it didn't like the 88.6, which is the strongest boomerang, and it's one where I do trade off. So what I'm going to do is just look at, this is on the 1 hourly. I'm going to look at where price is from the fib down to the, just down to that 61.8, and there is
which one? 60 minute.
There is, sorry, I was just to hit my other drawing. Price at the moment here. Interestingly, you can't see this on the Zoom because I faded it out, but it's just hitting another pitchfork, an older pitchfork of mine. So down to the 61.8, there's 40 pips there, 40 pips from price at current price. So I'm liking this for a sell, not immediately because the SAR is still underneath. The line you can't see if you follow my cursor,
yeah,
all the way along here, that is an old pitchfork, and it's rejected it repeatedly. It doesn't mean to say it won't break through, because it broke through here, and the 88.6 will be strong enough to push it through, but it has to come below this quarter theory at 108.5. So if we go to the smaller time frame, you might find that it's doing that, or how close it is. So I think there's probably quite a good move in there.
There was just a second to get a massive surge on the 5, well, on all time frames.
Oh,
on a buy, massive surge
on the USD.
Yeah,
At half past 1 your time.
I thought if anybody's got a buy order or a sell order going in there, they would have been wiped out.
Well, oh yeah, who's to blame for that? But Bob Foster Moore has just said he can't find the Zoom link. I've put it in Ninja Traders with some kind soul. Please copy it and send it to him, because if I come off my screen, I'm not entirely
You'll be
confident.
all backed up. Yes.
I'm not entirely confident I can get back to it on. I must turn on my other computer and have 2 screens running, and then I'm just being lazy. I just keep it switched off and just work off this one. So I'm now on the 15-minute. It's wicked off that pitchfork. So I wonder what caused that at 1:30 then. Interesting. Right. So it shot up how many pips?
I don't know. It just shot up like a.
It's just gone up
crazy.
Gone up 20 pips. Yeah.
And on the 5-minute, it looked like a javelin.
Wow. I think I found some quite crazy moves this week, not just the GBP really. So as Paul says, it's bankers settling up all their Christmas positions and end of year, isn't it? Trying to suck out as much money as they can. So we're halfway up on the sarcastic, as we call it. We've got 2 SAR flips there on the 15-minute, and it's wicked off my pitchfork. So 662, and price has just been respecting the pitchfork since the 9th of December. So it hasn't managed. So that's just a little wick up to suck out some money, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some stop losses. So on the 5-minute.
Where is he, Sarah?
Well, Tony's just observed.
I'm trying to find it, but my broadband is so slow at the moment.
Oh, where is it? Sorry, it's in Ninja Traders. I've put the Zoom link.
Yeah, the link's in there. Where's Bob? Like?
Well, I don't know why Bob can never find it. He couldn't find it yesterday. The reason is I don't yet stream into the free trial group because it's so great to have you guys on that trade the same way, because I'm still learning BYOB in conjunction with my harmonic trading. So I don't want to trade yet into the free trial group because I like to discuss it with you guys and see I'm reading it right, getting my act together with the script on it really. Oh yes, there's 2 moves up on the 5 minute. Wow. Well, I still like it. I still like it for a, I'll go down to my favorite, the 1 minute. And let's see what's happening. Yeah, it's stalling out now. It's wicked up and it's stalling out. But the 62 looks like it wants to cross up on the 1 minute.
I've
So
just put it in,
thank
Sarah,
you
so you can announce it. It's in the hub.
Yes, if you want the Zoom link. Yeah, thank you very much, Tony. That's very kind of you. So at the moment on the 1 minute, which I know is very busy and, you know, it's not everyone's favourite, but I like to just do my little scalping thing with the 10 pips normally. At the moment on the 1 minute, it's just saying that the 62 is crossing the 15 minute and the SARS is still on the up and it's still looking on an upward trend. So I don't know what time scale we might want to look at this, but it's just dipped down there on the 5 minute, 15 minute, still on the up. 1 hourly. I never look at the 30 minute. 1 hourly still going up. 4 hourly, although wicking, I'm in a lot of wicking. So you can see on the 4 hourly on the pitchfork off the D point that it has respected that pitchfork. But we have got a SAR flip up there. But it's so wicky, so wicky. So I think if I was looking at this for a sell, I would probably come to the hourly and wait for it to, I don't know if I come on the hourly or the 15 minute. I don't think I've got a trade yet at the moment on this because it's because of that wick just now, 2 SAR flip up, but I believe it's in a downward trend and I liked it where it had crossed. I like where the 62 had crossed, which I think, let me just go back to the hourly. It had crossed on the hourly. So I think it's an hourly trade with the 62 because that's such a strong thing when that happens. But it just needs to settle down from this banker's stop hunt. Although the stochastic is still down there. So I'd be looking for, perhaps in Les's time, this might have turned into a sell at 7 p.m. UK time. Do join him on his session because he will follow through with his ideas on some of these longer term ones as well. And it's trading between, so I think I'll just look at that line there. That's 14 pips between where it is off that pitchfork and the next line of support and resistance there, and its lowest price was down here at opening of London, 108.430. But I've got a green pitchfork there, which is an older pitchfork. If I just show you that. So I'd be looking for 10 pips. Keep an eye on the hourly. There's my older green pitchfork crossing quarter theory, 2 very strong lines of resistance. So I'd be looking to trade on it between 108.635 and 108.50, there or thereabouts. I'm just going to write that down for me. 108.6, no. Be looking at the hourly and 108.50. And please do say what you think, because, you know, on all of these, you know, it's very helpful. Right, so I'm now going to look at, we've done USD, what's that, ND Chef, NZD, JPY, Euro USD.
Euro USD.
Yeah, look at our majors. All right, let's give that a chance to load. Okay, that's on the hourly. I'll start with the 15 minute. Bob says it's asking for a password. He always says that. I've no idea why, and I don't put password on. Everybody else gets on
Or just
Okay.
click on the picture.
It's on your settings, Sarah.
No, it's on my settings, but how come you've got on without a password?
Because I've took it off. If you
No,
click on
how
that,
come you've got on mine without a password?
I've put a link in there now into the chat group with the password included. If he clicks on that, he should get straight through, unless he's on the phone. If he's doing it from a phone, he'd need to actually copy and paste the password in. But
Who sets the password?
Zoom do, you'll have to go back into your advanced settings and take password off.
Oh, right. I didn't even know I had one on.
Yeah, they've changed it, they've updated it, and on the last update, it defaults to a password. It's optional.
Oh, right. Do you have to reset it every time?
No.
Okay, thank you for that. So on the 15-minute Euro USD, we've got an upward scan. Just let me zoom out to see where my scan is. And I haven't had time to check Harmonic Scanner today. No, so I don't know if you know if there are any new scans. I haven't added any more on lately. I don't think there's a lot happening on the scans, but I may have missed a more recent one on something, but I haven't had time to look. So on the, I've got an upward scan. The D point was at the 27th of November. This is my last one for Euro USD. Remembering I only do scans of 80 pips because then I've got the 20 pip range between each pitchfork, which helps me subconsciously trade without kind of thinking, where am I with the pippage that I can get. The same with quarter theory. It's another reason I like it. I don't trade off quarter theory just on its own, but it's a 50 pip range. So I kind of, it gives me a nice little indication, no matter what time frame I'm on, as to what sort of pips I've got. I'll just hide that blue line. That was just me putting on market highs and lows over a longer period of time. So we've got an upward scan. On the hourly, we can see that it's turned at the top, but it's not a flat bottom candle, very wicky, doji, as we call it. It's like a spinning top, as Paul calls it. You know, it can't make its mind up because it's not an equal wick either side. And the SARs are still pushing up, although we've got the stochastic at the top, but the lines are virtually right together, kissing each other, as Paul says. So at the moment, that is not a trade. On the 15-minute Euro USD, we've got a SAR flip at the top, but it's not that good a trade because, again, it's a very thin wicket candle. If I show you on the magnifier there, spinning top, can't make its mind up. So we've had a SAR flip, and the stochastic, as you can see, although it's crossed, I mean, they're very close together, and it's right in the middle of the range. So not the best of trades on the 15-minute. Just trying to move my screen across. I'm just looking back. So nothing on the 15-minute. Just looking back to, oh, it's the 62 is not ever, hasn't actually crossed the 15-minute. It's stayed above it, saying, and that's saying to me it's still pushing upwards. But I can't see, although I don't like to predict the market because I'm not a politician, but I can't see the euro could be that strong against the USD given what's going on with Brexit, because it's been plummeting against the pound. So it crossed over the 15-minute on the 2nd of December. And the 62, which is our 1-minute average of price, has not actually crossed back down. So that still says it wants to go up in terms of price. And indeed, on the 15-minute, it is pointing up. It's pointing up here, but you can see it's a small range because it turned halfway through. So we haven't got a lot of allowance for any pips on the 15 minutes. There's no trade for us to get into on that. We'll look at the 5-minute. Now it did bottom out here. I'm just going to see if I can increase the size. But we've missed that move. There was a flat, if I'm sorry, you probably, that's why I've been going through changing my color candles. I thought they showed up a bit better. So round about here, we had a flat bottom candle, but we didn't get a SAR flip till here. And they're all indecision candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them across 5 minutes have all been dojis with that long wick there. And it's coming up again now. So you've got to wait for it to come up some more and then look at it for a sell. But I'm nervous about selling that because it looks the 62, although it's evened off a lot. So there's nothing happening on the euro according to this. I can't see any trade there myself, and that's the hourly indecision candle, no SAR flip. It is at the top there. In fact, the 3 SARs there are still pushing up. And the 4 hourly, just remind ourselves on that one. We've got a SAR flip down here. We've got price in the middle on the stochastic still pushing up, but it's a small range. And we've got a flattening off of the 62. We have got a flat bottom candle. We've got the flat bottom candle. We've got the SAR flip, and we've got it going up on the 4 hourly. But it's it hit back, and it wasn't really right beneath it. And that was back at the 8th of December at close of business was the lowest point it reached. So it's been slowly coming up.
Can I give you a little tip, Sarah?
Please do, yeah.
It's up to you if you want to take it on board. You know,
Yeah.
the bottom part, the stochastics.
Yeah.
I couldn't work out why my picture is different to yours, and I've just realised yours is squashed down. So I'll give you a proper picture.
What, do I need to have it bigger like that?
You've got to see the 100.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you get a true picture of the angle of the stochastics coming down. The more acute the angle coming down, the stronger the signal.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
I've got to see the 100.
Well, I'm seeing the 100 anyway. It's just fractionally above the 100.
Well, there's the 90. But that
Yeah,
takes
it's probably
up.
gone a bit too high. I don't know, because you can squeeze the numbers down also on the right hand side.
Okay.
Can't
Yeah,
you?
yeah. Right.
If you take the cursor and put it on
yes.
the that's it.
Oh, good.
That's
Thank you for no. That's a great tip. I'll play around with that. That's much better. I wonder why I couldn't see everything clearly myself. So that's brilliant.
Where you see the stochastics, where they're touching the red and the blue line, when they go off at an angle like that at 45,
yeah,
that means that it's really like you can see above the candles in consolidation. You need a nice sharp uplift, point upwards. That's a strong signal.
So do you see a trade here or not? Because
No,
it's between 40 and 60, and that's the reason why, isn't it? It's between
all the candles are there's no volume there at all. There's too many wicks instead of candles itself. And the consolidation's coming up. Yeah, you had a little bit more consolidation in the stochastics here, going at, you know what I mean, going sideways. There's a little bit of a push upwards, but to me, it's still.
I don't think there's any more trading
No
in the euro today, is there?
There's no strong movement upwards. I class that as very weak myself.
Yeah, I totally agree. So we can look at, let's have a look at CAD JPY. I've just had an alert go off, and I don't know what that's for, but I'll ignore that. I haven't had time to change this one for this after. Oh, that does look better. Hey, I can see clearly now. Use the old song. We put the SARs on, and let me just quickly change the candles. So this is coming up quite nicely. Just change this one. So I have been going through changing them all.
CJ.
CJ 15 minutes on the 15 minute.
Yeah.
I just want to see where the scan is. So the scan D point was drawn 20th of November. And it's come right up past the median, dropped right back down to the extensions. Take that off. Oh, there's been quite a lot of movement on CAD JPY. That was the 4th of December. So it moved 50 over 100 pips from the 4th to the 5th. And then it's moved 50, about 75, about 80 pips back down to hit the extensions. And now it's coming back up and wicking off that quarter theory point. Just come, so it's an upward scan on the Canadian dollar. On the hourly, we've just had a SAR flip, but it's a very wicky indecision candle. It hasn't bottomed out sufficiently below 20. So there's no trade on the hourly. I've just see the 62 has crossed under the 15-minute average, moving average, but it's quite flat. So you can see price is just doing its own thing along quarter theory, and it's been doing that since the 9th of December, trading in that channel really. That's a few wicks down. So actually its channel range since open of market has only been, that's 9th of December. So if we took it back to that one, it's only done, if you take it up there, about 20 pip range. So I'll just put on a rectangle here. I always think it's fine to cut off some of the wicks myself. That's what I do. So not much SAR pip range from there to there. Yeah, exactly 20 pips is your trading range that it's stuck to for quite a while. And you can see how it's respected quarter theory as a strong line of resistance. This is on the hourly. It's just that wick's throwing it out quite a bit, and it hasn't bottomed out. So it's just kind of consolidating in a 20 pip range. And I don't think there's much going to happen on this until the Asian session. But no one predicts the market, let alone me. So I'll just put the pivots on, see what the pivots tell us. So we've had no new highs or lows formed since the 6th of December. I mean, you can't even tell which way the market wants to go if you put in there. But you've got some lows there, but it's been quite a long time for it to move. So we've had since on the hourly 5th of December, it has formed lower lows and a lower high, but now it's in a period of 20 pip range consolidation, can't make its mind up which side of quarter theory to go. And if you look at the pip range between my pitchfork and quarter theory, if you were, say, thinking of taking a little buy on a small, we'll go down to the 15 and the 5. At the moment, you've got about 20 pips. But you haven't got a higher low formed. You've got a lower low. So the market is kind of, it's not doing anything, not going up or down. So I'll go to 15 minutes, see if that tells us anything different. That says that it is coming up, but it has been thrown out a bit by the wick. We've still got the 62 under the 15-minute. We have had it come off quarter theory though. So it could, and it's respected very much that pitchfork on the last pivot, the last high. They're broadly the same, showing a ceiling, showing a channel trading. So if you waited till it came to 182, say 182, 140, or 182, 82, 140. This is on the 15-minute. 82, 140. Look to see what it did then at the top here. You could get a channel trade back down to quarter theory at 82, 82.073. Don't know how many pips that is. I'll have to measure it. So if we want to do a small trade, there might be one there, I think. That would get us 10 pips between there. If it carries on, because it has wicked through there. So it's struggling since the 9th of December on the 15-minute. How many hours is that? That's 22 hours. It struggled to break through about 82.140 or 82.123 is the lowest it went. I'm just going to write that down. 82.123. So you've got 5 to 10 pips on the 15-minute if it turns above here to come back down on that channel trend. That's what I'm going to be looking at. And the 5-minute, it has turned off that on the 5-minute. Oh, so it's peaked on the 5-minute. It's already coming down. So it's not going to, it's not going to hit that. It turned at 82.141 on the 5-minute, but the SAR hasn't flipped, but it's already saying it's coming down. So the channel's narrowing, more consolidation going on. So you could keep an eye on that, but it's narrowing on the channel band at the moment. So that's CAD JPY, NZD USD. Go to the 15-minute, start with that. Big upward scan I've had here. Just put my, I don't trade this one very much, as you can see, because I obviously haven't even had time to put on the, don't want to do it that way around, I'll do it this way around. Favorites, just shove on the SAR. Settings. Let's put on a bit of a wider line, which Les taught me to do. And go to the settings there. Just want to change, make that a bit paler. Right. So on the 15-minute on NZD USD, the scan was the last scan I put on this was a bit of a weird shape. So the D point was 21st of November. So that's the last one. And in fact, I drew a second pitchfork. So it's one I've drawn myself. So trade with me off my pitchforks in this case at your peril, because what you do is you make a judgment call and you do what's called a best fit, and you look for touch points, and it goes in the opposite direction of the scan you've drawn. So I just used, it was a bit of a weird shape, and I just used where I could find touch points. So it's come up there and it's coming off below quarter theory. So I'll just come back down. So it was an upward scan, but only off my secondary pitchfork. I didn't find a new harmonic scan off the scanner to draw on the 1 hourly. But anyway, we don't trade pitchforks necessarily. You can just use them as an extra aggressive trend line, a more accurate trend line, because they've got Fibonacci's in them if you're doing BYOB. So on the hourly, we've got it, the stochastics quite nicely hit the bottom, coming up at a right angle with the blue above the sellers, above the buyers above the sellers. We've had a candle that's cancelled out the previous low candle. I've got no SAR flip upwards though yet. This is on the hourly. And what have I got with the, I can't even see where there's the 62, but it really has been right above the 62, the 1 minute EMA for a long time, and then it's coming across the quarter theory. It's broken through that, and it's between two old pitchforks there. So the 15-minute, oh, this is interesting. This is quite a good one because the blue has come right up above here. So it is peaking at above 80. So I'm liking this on the 15-minute. Let's just get that bigger so we can have a good look at that. So this could be a trade because this first one I've come across on any time frame where we've got a strong indication that it's going to turn because it's well outside the bands. It's well above the 80, and the lines are wide apart. So I've got 3 little SARs there. And the other thing I like about this is that quarter theory is at 0.65500. So let me put the pivots on, see where our highs and lows are. I haven't got on the 15-minute a new low formed, but price is just about turning there. It's almost equal 65680 and 65667. It has got a lower high. It's come down slightly, but we haven't got a lower low yet. When we get a lower low, then the SAR will flip, and I'd expect to start. What time are we at? Oh, we've just turned the 2 o'clock UK time, so I won't be on too much longer. But perhaps we'll just finish by looking at this one, unless anyone's got any questions or any observations. Thank you very much for everything, for joining. I do appreciate your support, I really do. And if I can help anyone in a session or even outside, I spent 2 hours with someone Saturday night, which I'm very happy to do, and they were suitably grateful. I'm just learning the same as everybody else is, but very happy to help anyone. So it's just coming up to hit quarter theory. The 62 is coming down. Let's see what the hourly candle closed at. So we had a flat bottom. We had a flat bottom there. But we've got a wick on this latest hourly. The latest hourly is not a flat bottom on the hourly. I never go to the 30-minute, but I'll go to the 30-minute. That's also a wick. All the SARs have turned. Did they turn on the hourly?
Sarah, Les is going.
Oh, bye, Les. See you later. 15-minute there, 5-minute. Still trying to push up, but I like the fact these lines are right outside now, but the blue is still above the red. And let's go to the 1-minute. And it's turning on the 1-minute. So I think there's a sell here. Do you think so, Tony? Or am I? Because I've still got my 62 below my 15-minute, which always makes me nervous because it's counter trading to me. But I like this stochastic at the moment, although the lines are close together, they're over 80. And we are below quarter theory, and it is turning. It's definitely turning.
You won't know the full picture until the stochastics have crossed and they're on their way down. And then obviously you have to look at the rest, the SARB, the candles, the strength of the candles, and everything else like that.
Now that's something that I haven't implanted in my memory yet, the volume in the candles, which you told me about yesterday.
So at the moment it could be another half an hour, it could be an hour before they actually go up, reach their peak, then start coming back down. Like you see to your left, you see the stochastic to the left, the blue's got to cross over the red and come below it for a sale.
Yeah, but we haven't had here, there's no, would you count that one as the flat bottom candle then? No, because that's a buy candle.
Yeah.
So how would you take a sell on that? Because I haven't got any flat bottom candles here.
Then technically speaking, if you haven't got a flat bottom, you wouldn't entertain it.
Here's a flat bottom. Actually, there's an entry there.
Right, because I'm looking at mine.
But but only a small candle.
You're on the you're on the 1 minute there, aren't you?
Oh, that's why I meant to look at the 5-minute.
Yeah. If you're looking at the 5, yes, it's peaked. It might go higher. As I say, I'll wait for it to come through the 80 on the way down. let the, you know, a SARB, and then I look at the candles, how they're forming. Yeah, it can be quick analysis when you get used to it.
Yeah. So here, there's a tiny, yeah, I can't see any previous entry.
You're on the 5 minute now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of yeah, I would wait for the stochastics to move down.
Yeah.
Because it could carry on in consolidation going along the top, or it
True.
could go up a bit more. So
Yeah.
that's the strongest indicator out of all of them, I think. But obviously, you match them all up to make sure everything suits.
Yeah. So what time scale would you look at this one on then?
Depends on when you're placing the trade, which one you've got to choose a time frame. Otherwise, you'll be chopping and changing all the time.
And that depends on your own personality and style. So for me, I'd be scalping on the 15 minutes.
Then that's one you should look at, and then analyze on the 5 or the hour if you want to see which direction it's going in, to make sure you're happy.
Yeah.
And do your analyzing on your 15-minute.
Yes, I do that. I do that on my harmonic scanner. I look for the setups. I'm so used to starting on the 15-minute.
Right. So the stochastics haven't reached the peak yet. The blue's broken, but the red hasn't. Yeah. And we haven't seen a SARB. The candles are very weak with volume at the moment, but that could change. And yeah.
Okay, so just.
Thanks, Tony.
Hey. Oh. Little voice in the wilderness there.
Yeah, so I shall look at this from the 15-minute myself. Yeah. And I'm quite liking this for a little sell. So on my watch list, I've just got CAD JPY.
Yeah, CAD JPY. Oh, you've got one going off, have you?
No, I just was looking at that earlier, and I'm just looking at it. I quite like CAD JPY for a possible sell, and NZD USD for a sell.
My alarm's gone off on it as well.
What, on which one?
CJ, CAD JPY.
I didn't set an alarm on mine.
No, I did on my C Trader.
So I've got a SAR flip at the top. On what time scale?
I can't remember.
Let me go to the 15-minute.
That's on the 5 minute for me, going down to sale.
So even though I've got the stochastic on the 5 minute is halfway down the range, but I have got the SAR flip and a flat bottom candle.
Let's have a look.
But the only thing I don't like about that is it's very near to quarter theory.
Right.
It's only 2.6 pips away, which is not something it's not a place where I like to take a trade. And having said that, we'll finish off obviously with it just shooting through quarter theory down to the sell, no doubt. But,
I just set alarms just to make me aware to start looking again. So I know one thing's in place, it's a trend downwards. Now I look at the rest. On the 5 minute, the SARBs are shown. The red line is actually crossing the green line any minute. But the only thing that I'm put off by is the stochastics. The angle is, it's not too bad. But yeah, I see it's still going down on the sale though. So.
Yeah, I've just got it still in this channel. On the 30 minute, it's turned in that channel that I drew.
Yeah. So.
In that 20 pip range.
Yeah.
So.
But at the end of the day, it's up to the individual what they want to do, isn't it?
Yeah. So if I looked at that for a buy, for example, that's only 5 pips. So for me, it's quite small. It's quite a small channel trade. If it's just going to sit on this quarter theory, which on the hourly it does not like, and it's wicking through, and yet it can't make its mind to go above 82.14 at the very highest. In fact, it's consolidating, as you said, because it's now just at that 82.080. So even narrower. So it's gone into like doing its own little chuntering along thing now, hasn't it? So I don't think there is a trade on that one because it's too narrow. So I think it's just CAD JPY for me.
Yeah, yeah.
You agree with that?
Yeah, I'm still looking at it at the moment. I'm just waiting for the red line to break the green. It's just sitting there at the moment. It's still going down for sale at the moment. So, CAD JPY.
Where's my CAD JPY gone? I don't remember clicking off that. Oh, I'm on it. No, sorry, my CAD JPY. You're thinking of it for a sell,
Yes.
right? After it's got out of this period of consolidation, so you're still keen on it.
It's going down. If we're looking CAD JPY 5 minute, you're on the 15, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the 5.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Right. I'm doing it on a demo, by the way, because as I said, I'm trying something out. I've just
Yeah.
entered it, so.
For how many pips are you entering for?
Let's have a look. Quick trades. I've done 5.
Yes. Okay. Well, I might join you in that one then. So
Don't forget, I'm doing a demo, so.
yes. Well, I'll go live, but just on a very small lot size.
Yeah.
So I've stopped sharing. And then we'll sign off. Where's my CAD JPY? I'll just do 0.01 then, I think, just to see if my analysis bears out, or our analysis. 0.01. Let me just stick a stop loss in, because I wouldn't like to trade without one of those, no matter what the lot size. 82.028.128. Right, okay. Let me move that onto my screen. Okie dokie. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining.
Yeah.
And
always a learning experience.
Yes, and I'll just